Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Paul Brooker, and I am joined by the wonderful, the glamorous, the spectacular Anna Rodgers. How are you?
Oh, I'm embarrassed and blushing now. That's so sweet. Thank you. It's been a bit of a heavy week, but I'm glad to be here talking to you about one of my favorite subjects, which is parasites.
Oh, parasites. We've heard a lot about it. We know
Mm.
they exist. We know they are in us. Dare I say it? I don't even know how we catch them. Or do we just ingest them? Do we breathe them in?
Yeah, well, I can tell you a lot about these things. Not an expert. I'm just a mum that has learned all these things over the years. And as you know, parasites have become a really big topic online in the last couple of years because I think people are really learning about the connection between them and so many different health issues. Um, you can get parasites from drinking water. So, for example, some people have had a well on their land and drunk water that way, and then gotten sicker and sicker and tried to connect the dots, and then later on realized that in that water were parasites that have obviously hatched eggs in their body and gotten out of control and caused, severe illness, brain fog. It's linked to so many autoimmune disorders and cancer, which I want to show you a couple of things. Later on, we can share the screen. You can also get them through meat, uncooked meat. Sushi is so renowned for parasites being in that, unfortunately, because it's raw fish.
I love sushi.
So I know, me too. But I've now seen too many things online with people buying fish and then bringing it home and then showing people with their phone that there's a parasite in there, and it's gross because these things don't get killed by your stomach acid. They they grow and then they feed off of you because you become the host for the parasite, and they can really get out of hand if they're not, if you don't have a good microbiome. It's the perfect environment for them to thrive. And they're really quite demonic. And I'll show you some pictures in a minute, but especially when you look at them up close with a special magnifying scope, they some of them literally look demonic. And the way that they drain our life force is very parasitic. You know, that word is apt for what they do to us. Growing up, our parents probably dewormed us, but the older we get, unless you know about this subject, people don't think about doing parasite cleanses. And some of the ones that you can get in the pharmacy, they might say just take one pill. It's actually not really enough. And what I don't think people realize is there's so many different varieties of parasites, and some are. Is it okay if we share the screen? Because I'd like to show you what some of them look like. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, of course. You
Okay.
now have the power to be able to show
So
us.
let's see. Um, okay, this one is a good one. It's a bit scary. These are the most common ones. So you can see the chart in my mouse, I take it.
Oh,
So
I
the
can see that.
hookworm,
Yes.
super common. Now I don't know where you're going to get these from. As I said, it's food, it's meat, it's the fish, it's in the water. Um, Different bits of meat that you eat can have an affinity for different parasites. So, for example, pork is renowned for having tapeworms in it. Speaking from experience, I think I may have said this to you before, but I did a parasite cleanse a couple of years ago, and I'm not lying when I say that 3 days after I started taking the herb, that I had a dead 2 foot long tapeworm come out.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's not good at all. And
Yep.
tapeworm
No.
seems to be the most common one. Am I right in saying that, Anna?
Yeah, I think just because we eat a lot of pork, we love it. We love our bacon, and especially in England, it's a real thing, isn't it? Bacon and eggs that we eat quite regularly. The fluke here. They say that this is one of the most dangerous to have in your body. And again, a different herb that I took. And this is the thing, to treat parasites effectively, you can't just take one thing. So, for example, when I got rid of the tapeworm, I took something called Mimosa pudica seed that was insane because taking something and within a few days you see something dead come out. I mean, that's super powerful. But when I treated myself for the fluke, I drank a tea that had different types of herbs in it, and I literally had hundreds of these come out. They're one of the most uh, common parasites, and they are in the liver as well, which is so bad because you have a liver that is responsible for keeping you healthy. Really is one of the most powerhouse types of organs in your body. And if those are in there by the hundreds and they are feeding off of your liver, then and all the nutrients, then that it's not going to be good long term. The protosia or protosa is very, very tiny. You're not going to see that one. It's I think found in your urine, so you could be urinating these out and you wouldn't see them. They're microscopic. Let me just go up here. What's really interesting is a lot of people are talking about the connection between cancer and parasites, which makes sense to me because again, if there's so many types and they're out of control in your body, they are draining your life force so that your body won't be able to protect itself. This is really interesting. This is a study about the connection between the origin of cancer and parasites. And look at the date, 1891. So
Wow.
some people in the medical profession have known about this for years and years and years. But does the average doctor today know about parasites in cancer or parasites in general? No. If you go to your normal GP, they will probably talk you out of thinking that whatever you're complaining with about has a connection to parasites. And, once you start going down this rabbit hole, it's a famous lady called Dr. Hulda Clark, whose books are fantastic. She was, yeah, a doctor, but very vilified during her career. But she is famous for her work with parasites and cancer. She's the one that has a parasite machine, like a frequency machine. But I wanted to show you this as well. This is a famous doctor, Dr. Axe, who is talking about the connection between parasites and cancer.
There's a deep connection between parasites and cancer. Think about this. If you have a parasite, your chance of getting cancer goes up dramatically in the long term because parasites release toxins that weaken the immune system and promote inflammation. The other thing parasites do is they trigger continuous cell proliferation, which is what happens in cancer. They suppress immune surveillance, and so your body is looking out for cancer cells. Well, parasites create films in the body like biofilms. They also do things that sort of, muck up the cameras that your body has, these surveillance mechanisms, so your body doesn't know to send immune cells and natural killer cells to an area to kill cancer cells. So cancer cells start proliferating and multiplying in your body. There's a deep connection between parasites and cancer. Think about this.
And then something else I can show you that is actually fascinating because it shows you what he just talked about.
And came in for the removal of several tumors inside of his colon. I know you just saw that. We're going to repeat this again. Look what's inside of this tumor. Just very cautiously look. Do you see that? It's full of parasites. The tumor is full of parasites. They are encapsulated. They are being rounded up by your body so they don't run freely. That is what cancer is.
So that is pretty disturbing, isn't it? To see
Yes.
that. It's like,
Yeah.
it's showing you what he was saying. And there's so much information coming out now about, the cysts in your body on the inside are inside it. it's the parasites. I guess your body is trying to protect yourself from them. So here are some symptom signs if you have parasites. So obviously the most common one is digestive problems. If you feel like your stomach is inflamed, you don't digest food well, you have bloating, then that's a sign, very common sign. And if you're always tired, that can be another sign. Lots of people have skin issues as well. My daughter will be very embarrassed that I mention this, but she had a skin problem on her back. It wasn't acne. It was something called keratosis pilaris, which most people get on their arms. But I treated her with the parasite stuff we're about to talk about. And within like a month, it all cleared up. So it made me think, wow, her skin problem, which I originally thought might have been some kind of mineral deficiency, was actually parasites. This is another common one. And, you know, you'll know yourself if you grind your teeth at night, but this is very common in children. So I know my daughter Maya, who's 9, sometimes I'd sleep next to her and I'd hear her grinding her teeth. And she loves sugar. So that's also another sign. If someone is always craving sweet things, parasites love sugar. So and then yes, the bloated feeling and problems sleeping, nutrient deficiencies, of course, you become, you know, lacking in them because the parasites are feeding off of you. Whatever you eat, they eat. And what's disturbing to know is that a parasite, just one, can have hundreds of eggs. So if you don't keep on top of this issue, which does involve regular cleaning, you know, 3 times a year, that's what a lot of people are doing who are really on it with their health. They won't just do a parasite cleanse, you know, once a year. It's perhaps 3 times a year because, as we'll talk about later, the way that you do a parasite cleanse is very, very important. You know, if you don't do it correctly, they will come back. You know, you might feel better in the short term, but they will come back. There's a massive connection as well with parasites and heavy metals because they love the heavy metals and they hold onto them. This is very interesting here. Research indicates that some parasites, particularly in aquatic hosts, can accumulate metals at 200 to 455 times the levels found in their hosts. So that's obviously in fish, but we eat fish. I don't anymore, but this is probably where it's coming from in the sushi as well. But a lot of people don't do a heavy metal detox when they do a parasite cleanse. And if you don't do that, then the die-off, when, as it's saying here, when parasites die, whether naturally or through treatment, they release stored heavy metals back into the host system, which can overwhelm your detox organs and give you quite severe sickness. You know, I didn't know this when I started doing parasite cleanses, and the first time I did it, oh my God, it was horrible because, yeah, when the stuff kicked in, I just felt incredibly sick. And you can take something called L-orthanine, which helps to absorb some of the chemicals that the parasites dump. So ammonia is a very common
Sorry,
thing that
Anna,
parasites dump.
is that when they start dying? They chuck out
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think it's ammonia, and the L-orthanine mop up the ammonia. So a lot of people will do the PBX before they do a parasite cleanse, or you can take it together with the Parashield. So, yeah, Touchstone had amazing success with their detox pack, particularly with parents with kids with autism. And the feedback that we saw was the parents would say that their kid would have tapeworm or pinworms in the diaper. And so Touchstone realized that, oh, wow, detoxing the heavy metals kills the parasites. But a lot of the parents wanted to do a deeper cleanse because they knew that, you know, there's more than just one type of parasite to worry about. There's many. So this is where they developed Parashield, which we've got an amazing special. And I was lucky I got to try it when it just before it was first released. And I've tried other tinctures before. Some of them taste absolutely vile, but this one is quite delicious because they've got ingredients in it. There's one ingredient called yuzu, which is a Japanese citrus oil that makes it taste quite nice. But yeah, I put together this document just to show people that the ingredients have been chosen for reasons because the science shows that they actually do target the main parasites that we all come into contact with. I don't necessarily want to read all of these out to you, but you can see where you get them from contaminated food or water, vector-borne transmission, which is a lot of people are getting parasites through mosquitoes and ticks, you know. And then, yep, even the soil. I know we're all getting told to do barefoot grounding, but you can get parasites through your feet, which is terrible. Obviously, undercooked meat and fish is where you get the flukes and the tapeworms. Yeah, if you don't wash your hands properly, you can get parasites that way, and fungus as well. And this is the protozoa I was telling you about before, the one that is microscopic and you can't see it. This is through sexual contact. So people don't know that. We don't really ever get educated about that. Yes, you get educated about sexually transmitted diseases, but not sexually transmitted parasites. So that was a bit of a shock to hear. And then, yeah, the general health impacts across the parasites is immune system strain, because again, your body is too busy trying to fight the parasites and not really helping your immune system. And it can make you anemic. Inflammation is a big one of what they are linked to. And this is the one we have to worry about, the chronic complications from long-term issues, which is obviously the cancer and the neurological issues. Disturbingly, parasites can end up in the brain as well. I've seen some scary things with MRI scans. There's doctors who are linking MS to parasites as well. And MS is obviously, it's I think the myelin sheath in the body is affected and you can't move, you get a lot of pain. And this is the one that, people can identify with if you're suffering from depression. It can be from the parasites. So, and there's more here. Yep, from the protozoa, stomach issues, infections, tissue damage, reproductive issues. These are all the common ones that most people have in their bodies, and you can see from the list, they're doing a lot of harm to people. And there's something that is also happening where when the stomach is really in crisis, it can also create something called a biofilm, which in essence is a film that is coating areas of your stomach that make it hard to actually get to the parasites. So I didn't realize that. And then when I looked into it, it's like, oh, wow, this is where taking digestive enzymes can really help to break down the biofilm. And then you can attack the parasites. And we're never going to get rid of all of them. And there's research that says in a healthy body that doesn't have a severe parasite problem, you're still going to have some. But like all things, it's when the balance is too much on one side, meaning too many parasites, that is the problem. So inside the Parashield, which is the new product from Touchstone Essentials, all of the ingredients are wild crafted and organic. So you can always know that you get the best product. But these are the ingredients that they've got. They've got black walnut, which has the anti-parasitic compounds, all proven by science. Laxative properties, which can help to get rid of the parasites. Because some people with parasites are very constipated. They don't always go to the toilet, so this will help you get them out. And black walnut's also antifungal as well. It helps your immune system. And then the clove, our clove is insanely amazing, all the properties it's got, not just for parasites, but just for other things in the body. It's truly phenomenal. Has very strong antiparasitic compounds from the eugenol, which is antimicrobial, antifungal, and antiparasitic. So it helps the cell membranes and the metabolic processes. It's very, I'm not going to read it all out. I can send a document to you if you do want to share it later, Paul, because it is quite interesting.
Yeah,
This
it
is
would be
the
great if we
part
could
that's,
share this with the audience.
yeah, this is important here to know, because you have to kill the eggs, because obviously they lay them, and you can kill them, the mum, but if you don't get the eggs of course will hatch later on. So when you do a parasite cleanse, it's not something you do just for a week. You have to do it a lot longer. The way that you use Parashield is you take it twice a day for 21 days, you have a break for a week, and then you go back on it again for 21 days, a break for a week. You do that for 3 months, and that way you're going to target all of the life cycles. But again, if you're not careful with your diet and you go back to eating lots of sushi, which I'm not saying you shouldn't do, but you have to be aware that you probably will be reintroducing more parasites. So this is why cleansing 3 times a year is probably going to be quite important for people to do. We also have ginger in there, which makes it very tasty. Ginger is very powerful as well. It's got the antifungal stuff going on and helps with the digestive stimulation and helps to get the parasites out. Ginger is also anti-inflammatory as well. And then there's also sweet wormwood. There's so much science on this stuff. It's really, really powerful, and I think helps with quite a few different types of parasites. What else? You can read about this on the page that we're going to share with the special offer. It is laid out, but this is a lot more detailed. And then there's also barberry root on there as well, which, yeah, they all kind of do the same thing, but some of them are more powerful for different parasites. So, yeah, and that's the oil that is in the product to make it not taste so disgusting, because I've tasted some before that have the black walnut and the wormwood in it, and it literally tasted like I was drinking an ashtray. It was absolutely disgusting. So, but yeah, this goes on and on and on, which I won't read to you. But yeah, I mean, that's it. It's a big, big problem. It's more of a problem than what I think people realize. And from what I've seen come out of my own body, I know that they exist. Same with my children as well. It's very real for them because, yeah, it's just renowned for being in children is pinworms and roundworms and tapeworms. And, as a parent, I not only have to deworm myself, but it's also deworming my children,
Yeah.
and quite regularly. But it's nice to know there's something that doesn't taste so vile. People are using ivermectin out there. There is some amazing science on ivermectin and febendazole with cancer, but if you prefer to use the natural stuff, then this is going to be really effective. And we've had a lot of great feedback from people who say, oh, I've only used it for 3 days, but I've seen the liver flukes come out and I've seen this in my children.
Do you know what, Anna? It's worth saying our food supply is not what it was. We have found that with food being imported, exported so much, passing through 8 countries and everything, the paper trail that says that is safe is no longer bomb-proof like it was.
Mm.
We have seen it. I mean, a few years ago, I don't know about if you remember it, but Weatherspoons, a pub chain in the UK, they found horse in beef burgers.
I remember that. Yep. And Tesco's sold it as well, didn't they? In their burgers.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
problem
yeah.
is these companies are always looking to cut costs.
Yeah.
And cutting costs means cutting corners. Always
Mhm.
has done, always will. There will always be a quality suffer in the food chain. And at some point, no one knows what's actually going on at the place you're buying it from because it's three, four, five times down the chain. And as we all know, I mean, I learned something very, very interesting last week. If there's a packet that has ballooned on the freezer shelf,
Yeah.
do not touch it
Yeah.
because the bacteria has grown in it, which has kicked out gases, which has made
Yeah.
the packet balloon because it got defrosted at some point in the food chain.
Mm.
But the supermarkets are still quite happy to put that on the shelf.
Yeah. Gross, right?
This
Gross.
tells you there's no pride in anything anymore. There's no pride in putting food on the shelf. There's no pride in saying our cows are British sourced. Yeah, they're
Mm.
British sourced. And then they put in the small print, yes, a minimum of 35 cows are British sourced, which means we can use the trademark British sourced.
Yeah.
That's the devil is in the detail on so much now. It's incredible. And speaking as a father, and my daughter will kill me in years to come for saying this, I've had to deworm my daughter twice
Mhm.
in the space of 2 years. And dare I say it, I'm sure it's my daughter who drops something on the floor, picks it up, looks at it. It looks sort of okay. Oh,
How old is she?
she's 10.
Oh, does she still eat stuff off the floor, or are you talking
I
about
don't
years
think
ago?
she does now because I think she's learned eating stuff off the floor equals worms.
Yeah,
And
but that's how they get them, I guess, when they're really little.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and it's like anything, isn't it? If it's never happened to you before, you don't think to look for it. Because dare I say it, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at some of those symptoms and I'm thinking, I could probably do with a parasite cleanse.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
when my daughter had a tapeworm, I took the medication, obviously, because we share everything in our
Yeah.
house. But sitting here right now and looking, and I'm sitting here going, do you know what? Would it hurt if I actually tried a parasite cleanse? Because I might be surprised at what comes out because I seem to suffer from fatigue once in a while and I
Mhm.
can't explain it. That's the bit. It's when you can't explain it. That's the bit where we should actually be going, well, I need to look into this. And obviously, you've been looking into parasites and a whole host of other things for 20, 30 years just for your own health.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I sit here and I go, I don't want to look at a drug. I do not want to look at Big Pharma, who's probably going to kick out some drug that I'm going to have to get hooked on, or it works for like 2 minutes and then that's it. As you've said, you've got to kill the eggs, or otherwise you're just, dare I say it, going
Yeah.
round and round in circles.
Like I haven't. I've been using the Parashield, but I didn't buy sort of 3 bottles so that I could do this course. So now I'm thinking, oh gosh, I didn't do it properly. There's probably more happening there. And in Costa Rica, parasites are a huge issue here. In fact, most of the locals, they know to do a parasite cleanse. They don't do this kind of cleanse. They'll just go to the pharmacy and get sort of one pill. But yeah, it's renowned for that. I mean, my girls were both very, very sick once where they vomited for 5 days. It was terrible. They wouldn't even keep water down. And then I was like, what's this? And then someone who'd been living here for years is, oh, it's probably a bug, which is a parasite essentially that they came into contact with. But that was horrific. And because there's so much fresh food here and fresh fruit and salads and things, you can get parasites on them as well. But what I forgot to say when we were speaking before was that, you can help yourself through diet. So there are food-based things that help. Obviously, I mentioned ginger. So if you love ginger, have a lot of that in your diet. Garlic is another one that parasites don't like. Raw carrot, they don't like. What else? Pumpkin seeds are renowned for killing some of the parasites, and papaya seeds as well. So you can help yourself through diet, but you do have to incorporate a lot of that regularly for it to work. But yeah, people that are into raw food, for example, they have a lot of those ingredients in their diet, and they tend to say they feel great and look great, so they're probably keeping their microbiome very healthy and all of that. But yeah, I probably would have benefited from parasite cleaning decades ago. But yeah, I only really did it in the last sort of 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Well, information is power, isn't it? And the information we've been learning on this journey is powerful and, dare I say it, life changing, because we should be able to help ourselves more than anything else when it comes to our health.
Mm.
And I'm sorry, but I don't like going to the doctor these days because all I see is a man who turns, or a woman, who turns to the computer and looks for the drug that the big pharma has
Yeah.
convinced government to purchase and dish out to
Mhm.
you. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying I'm against drugs in general, because I believe everything has a purpose, but likewise, everything in the drug world has a side effect.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
a lot of the time, it's about covering up symptoms, not fixing the problem.
Hmm.
And
And a
that's
lot of medications are acidic as well. So having an acidic environment in your body also creates an environment that the parasites love, and I kind of think now that we know of the connection between parasites and cancer, which obviously has been kept from the public for a long time, but now is becoming more widely known. Obviously, doing parasite cleanses you could say it's to help you avoid cancer. So that's the way I look at them now, is I'm not just worried about the parasites feeding off of my body and taking away nutrients. It's, I don't want to develop cancer, so I need to keep myself kind of clean as much as possible. So yeah, it'd be interesting to hear people come back and tell us what they experienced when they did the Parashield. And normally, I think it's $65 normally, but the special that everyone can take advantage of is your first bottle will be $19. And the bottle will last you that 21 days. If you want to give it to your child over the age of 3, the company doesn't recommend doing it under that age, but the kids can have 5 mils, which is half a dropper, and the adults are 2 droppers, 2 full droppers a day. So I think it's 5 drops in the morning, 5 at night for children, 10 drops for us in the morning and at night. But yeah, as I said, I love the taste of it. Some people don't love it, but I'm like, you haven't tasted the other stuff I've tasted. This is like champagne, you know.
fantastic. Well, Anna, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show again. We're going to put the link down below to the Parashield from Touchstone so you can take advantage of the offer that's going on at the moment. Anna, where can everybody find you?
Mainly on Instagram under Aussie Detox Mom.
Fantastic. Well, everybody, it's been a pleasure as always. Take care, God bless, and see you all soon. Bye now.
Bye.